All right, the Prime Minister is going to be filing his nomination from Varanasi in just a few minutes. We have seen scores of VIP leaders and ministers show up to support the Prime Minister and, of course, also showcase the unity that is expected of the NDA. And they're hopeful that they will form the government for a third consecutive term. My colleague Devika is joining us from outside the DM's office right now. Devika, the last time you showed us who all have come for the Prime Minister's nomination ceremony, but what is the atmosphere outside of where you are right now? When exactly is the Prime Minister likely to file for his nomination? We all know that there was a Muhurat also, or rather an auspicious time from 11:40 to 12:15, between which the Prime Minister wanted to put in his papers for nomination.
He's right on schedule, and as you mentioned, that several leaders have already arrived to welcome him at the nomination centre. Of course, the big names include Amit Shah, Rajnath Singh, JP Nadda is here, Hardeep Puri, Ramdas Athawale, Union Minister, of course, the BJP President JP Nadda are already here. In terms of Chief Ministers, Eknath Shinde has come from Maharashtra, Conrad Sangma has come in from Meghalaya to also be present and extend their support. As far as NDA allies are concerned, Praful Patel is here from Maharashtra once again, Chandrababu Naidu is here from Telangana, Jayant Chaudhary is also here, and Chirag Paswan of the LJP Bihar also here present at the nomination filing centre. We just saw him going. He was one of the last leaders to in fact enter the nomination filing centre. So all of the NDA leaders and several chief ministers and union ministers have already made their way through.
Devika, hold on to that thought. In fact, I'm going to cut across to my colleague Jameel Ahmed, who's joining us from Namo Ghat. Jameel, अगर आप मेरी आवाज़ सुन पा रहे हैं, प्रधानमंत्री नरेंद्र मोदी का क्रूज घाट पर पहुंच गया है। शायद लाइव विजुअल्स भी हमें मिल रहे हैं। क्या बता सकते हैं आप हमें?
बिल्कुल, प्रधानमंत्री नरेंद्र मोदी इसी क्रूज से अब धीरे धीरे उतरते हुए वो नमो घाट पर पहुंच चुके हैं और नमो घाट से वो सीधा काल भैरव के लिए पहुंचेंगे। आपको तस्वीर हम दिखा पा रहे होंगे कि दो क्रूज लगा हुआ है। अगला जो पहला प्रधानमंत्री नरेंद्र मोदी दशाश्वमेध घाट से दर्शन पूजन करने के बाद मां गंगा के आंचल में सवार होकर वो राजेंद्र प्रसाद घाट, मणिकंका घाट, दरभंगा घाट होते हुए वो पंचगंगा घाट, भैंसासुर राजघाट होते हुए नमो घाट पहुंचे और नमो घाट से इसी क्रूज से अभी उतर कर जस्ट वो नमो घाट पर ऊपर पहुंच रहे हैं और वहां से फ्लीट से सवार होकर काल भैरव के लिए दर्शन के लिए रवाना होंगे। आपको बता दें कि बनारस में कहा जाता है कि काल भैरव का अगर आशीर्वाद नहीं मिला, उनकी परमिशन, इजाजत नहीं मिली थी, आप कोई काम नहीं कर सकते। इसलिए प्रधानमंत्री नरेंद्र मोदी तीसरी बार जब लोकसभा चुनाव के नामांकन में जा रहे हैं तो पहले बाबा का आशीर्वाद, उनसे परमिशन लेने के बाद ही वो नामांकन के लिए पहुंचेंगे। कल रोड शो में आपने देखा होगा कि महामना से महादेव तक की यात्रा में लगभग 4 किलोमीटर की जो यात्रा थी उसमें सारे समुदाय के लोग रोड पर खड़े होकर, अपने घरों में खड़े होकर, छोटे हो या बच्चे हो या बुजुर्ग है, वो तमाम लोग प्रधानमंत्री नरेंद्र मोदी का फूल और मालाओं के साथ स्वागत किया, इस्तकबाल किया, उनका स्वागत किया। बनारस की ये पहचान कही जाती है कि अपने मेहमान की मेहमान नवाजी, तो शायद इसीलिए प्रधानमंत्री नरेंद्र मोदी जब आज बनारस में हैं और बनारस के लोग उन्हें बहुत उत्साहित होकर उनका स्वागत कर रहे हैं। आप देख पा रहे हो कि घाट के नीचे तमाम लोग, सफाई कर्मी हो, तमाम लोग हो, आम कार्यकर्ता हो, तमाम लोग यहाँ पर मौजूद हैं प्रधानमंत्री नरेंद्र मोदी को देखने के लिए और प्रधानमंत्री नरेंद्र मोदी ने भी उनका अभिवादन स्वीकार करते हुए वो आगे अब नमो घाट से सीधा काल भैरव के लिए रवाना होंगे। आप देख पा रहे हैं एसपीजी के जवान आगे बढ़ रहे हैं। इसका मतलब ये साफ संकेत है कि प्रधानमंत्री नरेंद्र मोदी इस रास्ते से अब आगे, देखिए तस्वीरों में आप देख पा रहे होंगे, देखिए प्रधानमंत्री, ये एक्सक्लूसिव तस्वीर आपको NewsX दिखा रहा है। आप देख पा रहे होंगे प्रधानमंत्री नरेंद्र मोदी का ये फ्लीट धीरे धीरे आगे बढ़ रहा है। देखिए प्रधानमंत्री नरेंद्र मोदी बिल्कुल सामने, आपको इंडिया न्यूज आपको दिखा रहे हैं। देखिए तस्वीरों में आप देख सकते हैं कि प्रधानमंत्री नरेंद्र मोदी का देखिए बिल्कुल इंडिया न्यूज आपको दिखा रही है तस्वीर। प्रधानमंत्री नरेंद्र मोदी आपको एक्सक्लूसिव तस्वीर दिखा रहा है, एकमात्र चैनल इन NewsX आपको एक्सक्लूसिव तस्वीर आपको दिखा रहा है। प्रधानमंत्री नरेंद्र मोदी यहां से नमो घाट से रवाना हो रहे हैं काल भैरव के लिए दर्शन करने के लिए। आप तस्वीर देख पा रहे होंगे कि बेहद ही खूबसूरत तस्वीर। प्रधानमंत्री नरेंद्र मोदी जब इस रास्ते से गुजर रहे थे, लोगों का अभिवादन स्वीकार किया बाकायदा हाथ हिलाकर, तो इस तरीके से आप समझ सकते हैं कि प्रधानमंत्री नरेंद्र मोदी ने बनारस वासियों का अभिवादन स्वीकार करते हुए बाबा का आशीर्वाद लेने के लिए अब आगे बढ़ चुके हैं।
चलिए जमील, आप बने रहिए हमारे साथ, हम आपके पास वापस जरूर आएंगे। As we just witnessed, the Prime Minister, in fact, got off the cruise and he's headed now to file his nomination papers. And we have seen overwhelming support from the crowd as well as from his party members as well as allies as well. Devika, my colleague, is still with us on the broadcast. Devika, we had to, in fact, go to Namo Ghat. We saw glimpses of the Prime Minister leaving Namo Ghat, and now he's obviously going towards, filing his papers now. Where are you at this point in time? Tell us, what's the latest news that you can give us? We have seen scores of leaders and ministers and supporters come out here and, vouch for the Prime Minister. What can you tell us now, Devika?
Yes, Vineet, in fact, the Prime Minister's visit to the Kal Bhairav temple is pending right now. So he's going to make, I believe, a quick pit stop to the temple before he makes his way to the nomination filing center, which is where we're waiting right now. And like I said, as we're waiting, we've seen hordes of leaders, both union ministers, the party president, chief ministers of NDA states, as well as certain NDA allies who've made their way half an hour before the Prime Minister is expected to arrive. As you had pointed out earlier, 11:40, between 11:40 to 12:15 has been slotted as the auspicious time when the stars will be perfectly aligned for the Prime Minister to file his nomination papers. So we are expecting the BJP to be on track and on schedule as far as that timing is concerned. So it's just about 11:15 right now, and we do expect that after making a quick pit stop at the Kal Bhairav temple, because it is believed, Vineet, that if you visit Kashi, you must visit both the Kashi Vishwanath Mandir as well as the Kal Bhairav Mandir. So Prime Minister Modi has already visited Kashi Vishwanath Dham Mandir yesterday. He's taken a dip in the holy waters of Ganga this morning, and now of course we expect him to also make that visit to the Kal Bhairav temple to seek the blessings before he actually now finally makes his way to the nomination filing center, where we are standing by. And like I said, as the Prime Minister inches closer to this particular location, it's been turned into more and more of a fortress. We see hordes of cops now coming in, cavalcades coming in. The securities, of course, increased manifold, and we do expect that in some time from now, when the Prime Minister actually arrives, there is a possibility that there could be certain jammers as well. So we may not be able to speak to you as smoothly as we are right now. But of course, everyone is waiting for the next watching the clock for the next half an hour until the Prime Minister actually makes his arrival at the nomination filing center. Remember, Vineet, earlier we had also informed our viewers that the 4 proposers of the Prime Minister have also been declared by the Bharatiya Janata Party, which includes Ganeshwar Shastri, one of the main priests at the Ram Lalla consecration ceremony in Ayodhya. There's Baijnath Patel and Lal Chandra Kushwaha of the OBC community as well. And there is Sanjay Somkar of the Dalit community. So a very careful caste calculation also put in place this time around. Remember, in 2019, the proposals were drastically different. We were not really discussing their caste, but more about the work they've done for society. But this time around, as far as the proposals are concerned, the focus really has been on highlighting the fact that they are leaders within these particular communities that, of course, hold a big chunk of the voting population in Uttar Pradesh. And as we're waiting, Vineet, we do see that some supporters have also arrived outside. People are, of course, not being allowed inside the nomination center, but we can see now that lots of people have started arriving outside the nomination center, and there are chants in support of Prime Minister Modi that can be heard already. Over to you, Vineet.
All right, Devika, we're going to keep coming back to you. The Prime Minister is going to be stopping at the Kal Bhairav Mandir as well for blessings, and then he's of course going to go to the nomination center to file his papers. Rajalakshmi Joshi, political analyst, with us on the program. Jimza Ibrahim, political analyst too, joins us on the show. Joyita Basu, editor of the Sunday Guardian, still with us on the program. Himanshu Bhatt, senior journalist, also joins us on this program. Rajalakshmi Joshi, important to see that this support, and I also mentioned it just a while back, is also about, not what the Prime Minister has done for Kashi. If you see a host of people coming in supporting the Prime Minister in his nomination, some of them also happen to be leaders of their regional parties and allies of the NDA. This is clearly sending out a message to the opposition as well as the voters.
Yes, Vineet, it is definitely a huge message that this entire alliance is united and it is growing from strength to strength. So as it is, earlier also NDA was pretty strong, and very frankly, the BJP itself has huge numbers. But in spite of that, the BJP has chosen to set for itself a huge target of 400 plus, and also they have taken along with them partners. And if you see that, you don't see a lot of all this kind of friction like you see in the India alliance, where one day Mamata Banerjee will say something else, and another day another alliance partner like the Aam Aadmi Party will say something else, and they keep hitting out at the Congress. So that those kind of scenes are not there in the BJP and in the NDA. So this is a huge message that says that we are all there with PM Modi, and we believe in his vision. So he has this vision, and he has been sharing things about Vikas and Virasat, and at the same time he's talking about Vision 2047. So he, in the last few days of his tenure before the election was announced, he had actually held meetings where he spoke about a 100-day plan after the next government comes in place. So, that is a kind of a preparation that he has, that, on basis of which he can talk about Vikas. So all of these partners, they know that they're definitely in very strong hands. So the people also believe in him. He has this huge support. So all of these alliance partners, they have a lot to gain from the BJP, from PM Modi. And it is not just that the BJP grows, in strength because of the alliance partners. It is the other way around too. There are some of these alliance partners who were otherwise on the decline, and who today have got maybe a fresh lease of life because they are in alliance with the BJP. So that is how things are. So today, that is why they are very strongly standing, not only with the BJP but even more strongly with PM Modi.
Okay, let me also rope in Jimsa into this conversation. Jimsa, do you agree with the Rajalakshmi that unlike other parties, we really don't get to hear or witness infighting? Forget about the BJP, even between the allies, it's more or less between a very smooth sailing affair.
All right, so let me start by acknowledging the fact that euphoria is in the air as Narendra Modi now goes to file his nomination. Most of us Indians can be proud of the fact that we can see allies of one particular bloc united. There is like I mentioned, euphoria. You have the grand optics for all of us to celebrate. To your question, why is there no rumbling within the NDA? But more importantly, why is the rumbling in the NDA not heard on the outside? But that's a question with the least to ponder over. Narendra Modi, as he often loves to display, he is a strong man. And he would like to maintain that image of a strongman like the Russian president. Much like the Russian president, where you know that there is just one person responsible. He wants to have one leader for the entire system and the nation. So I assume that you saw this video from the stage where you had Rajnath Singh, that is the previous president of the BJP, standing on the dais with Narendra Modi. They were garlanded. The look on Rajnath Singh's face, the fright in his eyes when he stood close to him, response to the message, to the question that you just asked me.
Okay, Joyita, would you want to respond to what Jimsa just said?
Frankly, I mean, these things, these cases where you have already written the headline and then you tweak your copy to fit in the headline, frankly, that is not a kind of journalism I do. So I would rather not reply to him. And the thing is that it's not my place, actually. I mean, we are analysts. We are not a particular party spokespeople. So let us stick to the optics. If we are talking about the allies, what we have to realize beneath here is that not all the allies are on a very strong footing. You see, just as there are people, there are small caste groups in UP in particular, say for example Rajbhar and all, they are there, they can cause a dent in BJP's, any party they ally with, the opposition, the rival party, they can cause a dent. So it is very important to be seen, both sides I would say, to be seen with Prime Minister Modi, first of all, I mean, the smaller parties, they will be winning a seat because they kind of, it helps. It helps that the BJP votes will be also coming to them. So that is what number one factor works. It works both ways. For example, when why is Praful Patel here? I mean, something that was frankly unthinkable even a year back. But the fact of the matter is that what is Praful Patel's status? If you are looking at the NCP vote, it can be divided. So what can Praful Patel do? One thing is certain from whatever we are hearing about Maharashtra, while everything else we do not know which Shiv Sena's faction will be getting the vote, which NCP faction will be getting the vote. One thing is for certain, and that's not anecdotal evidence, that is everybody is talking about, that BJP will do very well on its own in Maharashtra. So it helps Praful Patel to be seen with the Prime Minister. It helps Eknath Shinde to be with the Prime Minister. Think of the rally that Prime Minister Modi had in Patna. Who was holding up the BJP symbol? It was Nitish Kumar. Yesterday he was standing next to the Prime Minister and he was holding up the lotus symbol. Everybody is talking about it. No one is doing it. Why? That is because JDU, but for BJP, is not in a, I would say, stable footing. So this whole thing, more than the victory, as I said earlier, is a foregone conclusion. The margin also is likely to be a foregone conclusion when it comes to Varanasi. I know Jimsa Abraham is kind of, expressing his surprise, but the fact is, UP, we know what is going on in UP. And it would not be a, surprise that UP, BJP not only repeats its performance of 2019, they may even go better than that. Because we know. As I said, although in Delhi NCR, technically I am in UP. So I know what is going on in this state. So the thing is, you see, so that way UP is kind of a foregone conclusion. Now, what these allies are trying to do is that they're all trying to rub off from that, get a little bit of sheen from him and tell the voters that, listen, you are actually voting for him, not for us. This is the same. What the BJP candidates also do, it's the same with the allies also.
All right. Mr. Bhatt, the allies obviously, just know how to play the Modi card as well. And that is exactly the point here, right? When you're riding on a wave, you don't go against the wave. You ride it to the fullest, you leverage it to the fullest, and that's exactly the point that Joyita is also trying to make.
The point Joyita was making, that's for one side, NDA and allies. But what about the other side? India and their allies. I would like to, draw a stark contradiction between the two. Why is it that Modi is accepted and the other side is not accepted? The people of the country have 2 times have said this, and still they don't want to understand. They don't want to rectify their follies. The reason for that basically is there you do not have a person equal to the stature or nowhere near equal to the stature of Narendra Bhai Modi. And so people are not rallying behind each other. Arvind Kejriwal comes out of Tihar jail and wants to become #1 leader there. He talks of something on the stage and says that when I come to power, that is in the alliance. He makes it sure that I will convey them and they will accept me.
And he also said that if voted to power, he wouldn't have to go back to jail.
Yes, but that is what he says, that is what he pretends. He says 200 units of electricity free for everybody. Well, the person who contests 22 seats and claims to be the leader of opposition and equal to the stature of the person who has 303 or 356 seats. See the irony, see the contradiction there. I talk only on facts. And the fact of the matter is, today's show is a testimony. Last 2 days in Kashi, shown to the world, is a testimony that here you have a one-way race. And this one-way race will be won unilaterally, thumpingly, convincingly. That is what the show is saying. हम उनको 400 नहीं आने देंगे. What are you talking about? Are you talking of opposition? You have to fight. You have to see to that he doesn't cross 272. But that no one is bothered in the opposition. You have a man who is called the Prince, eternal PM in waiting. He's going to be eternal PM in waiting, forever. Run from Amethi to Wayanad, Wayanad to Raebareli, elope suddenly. Whereas here you have a man who is 24/7 on work for 365 days. For 10 years he's not taken a leave. The man breathes country. The man breathes politics in him. From a personal experience, I can say you that very clearly. He's so dedicated. And then you have a jibe at him that you don't have a family. See, the man working tirelessly, instead of recognizing and learning something good, what the enemy of yours has it. They don't want to do that. And these are the stark contrasts, which has become very, very clear to the foreign powers also that support the opposition today. I'll go up to that extent. They have started understanding things. And that's why things are becoming murky in Indian politics. A man has a gumption to get up on the stage and say, if Modi wins again, we'll have riots, to that effect. What does he mean by that? Does he respect the democracy? Who is an anarchist? Who talks of that in a democratic country? Are you democratic? You think it's your birthright to rule the country. And so what is your qualification? By what qualification did you come at the post of top man of Congress? Just by being the grandson of someone or a son of someone who was our Prime Minister?
Right, absolutely. And you're obviously lending voice to a very important point here as well, Rajalakshmi Joshi. Mr. Bhatt is absolutely right that, politics by affiliation alone is a forgotten or, a concept which is headed for oblivion. And that's exactly what the Prime Minister and his party has proved.
Yes, Vineet. The PM has actually, previous to his public life, previous to his tenures as the Chief Minister, he has spent another 20 years earlier. He has traveled every nook and corner of the country, connecting with every particular issue. He knows every district. He knows every place in and out. So, when he speaks with, he speaks at any rally, he speaks on any occasion, he knows exactly what it is about. So, he has worked his way through this entire thing, and he has risen from absolute zero. So, the Congress has yet to understand, especially the top leadership of the Congress has yet to understand. So, just a couple of days ago, Priyanka Gandhi Vadra, she was talking about how now, PM Modi lives Mahelon mein rehte hain, he has forgotten and he has no connect with the poor people, etc., etc. So, it is very ironical that she says such a thing because, we have seen videos where both the Gandhi siblings, they are talking about how, oh, you are traveling in the smaller chopper, I am traveling in a bigger chopper, that kind of conversation. They talk about making marmalade and, they have absolutely no connection with the, ground reality in our country. So that is how it is. They are so disconnected. They don't know the basic issues. When, they talk about things like satyagraha, they don't even know how to pronounce certain things. So, when they talk about all these issues, when they talk about ground realities, it is quite clearly, they are reading from a paper and they're not even able to understand what they're talking about. Whereas the PM, he has a very clear vision of what has been in the past and what he wants to do in the future also. So, there is this huge lack of communication also within the Congress, where one person is saying something else and the other person is always trying to cover up for it. So, these kind of things, and then they think that they can make up for all of it by getting into an alliance where, every person wants to be the Prime Minister. So this, the PM has very rightly said that it will be 1 PM a year or maybe a PM a month also. So it is very obvious to the people that there is not going to be a stable government even if the India Alliance comes to power, because all of them are going to keep jostling for space, and each one of them has a different manifesto. There is no clear vision about what they're going to do if they come to power. Everyone is talking something else, whether it comes to the CA, whether it comes to any other issue, about the caste census, about everything. They don't have a clear vision at all. And on the other hand, the NDA Alliance, they are very clear about what they're going to do. So that actually, I think there is a huge stark difference there. And, we don't want to go into those times when you had a PM a year. And we have seen how things were very unstable at that point. So every year there was a new prime minister. So that, I think, people don't want to get into that. And we have seen some neighboring countries where there is a lot of political instability because there are huge alliances with very small political parties. And definitely, that actually holds back the development of the country, because every couple of years or every year there is an election, and then all the development work is held up. So we don't want that.
All right,
and the people,
Rajalakshmi, hold on to that thought. We are learning that the Prime Minister has reached the Kal Bhairav temple to seek blessings. My colleague Devika is also joining us at this point in time to give us the latest updates from Varanasi. She's outside the DM's office. Devika, the Prime Minister is just a few moments away now, not only minutes, moments away from filing his nomination papers.
Absolutely, Vineet. This is the moment that everyone has been waiting for a very long time now. So we are expecting the Prime Minister to make his way shortly from now. Remember, all the routes, most of the routes in Uttar Pradesh, in Varanasi, pardon me, have been cordoned off so that the Prime Minister's cavalcade can make its way through smoothly from the Kal Bhairav temple, which is about 15 minutes away. And we can see that there is a lot of people that have now arrived to extend their support to the Prime Minister. There's a lot of VIP movement, in fact, as we're speaking, that's taking place. The cops are coming in and there are several cops, in fact, that are now barricading further. So that indicates to us that the Prime Minister's cavalcade could perhaps be very, very close now. In fact, the information that he's just reached the Kal Bhairav temple, so we are expecting in another 15-20 minutes maximum that the Prime Minister should possibly be at the nomination filing center. And like I said, that several people have come in. They're standing on at the other side. They're standing outside the nomination filing center as well. The security is obviously very, very heavy here. So the cops have not allowed anybody other than the media to really come into the center. And we're also standing by in a cordoned off area. And like I said, the police presence is increasing as we speak. So that's indicative of the fact that the Prime Minister should be arriving shortly. This is going to be a very important contest, Vineet, of course, 2024 for the Prime Minister. He's contesting from the third time for Varanasi, but the BJP themselves has set a very ambitious target for the Prime Minister. Last time around, he won with 63% of the vote share. He got over 6 lakh votes. In fact, he was just 30,000 short of 7 lakh votes. But the BJP believes that this time the Prime Minister should be able to breach that mark of 7 lakh votes and, in fact, win with an even greater majority. So it really now remains to be seen what the result will be, of course, on the 4th of June. But remember, Varanasi will be voting in the last phase on the 1st of June. And this is one of the most crucial nomination filing processes in this particular Lok Sabha election. Several leaders of the NDA, their allies, have all made their way to the nomination filing center. Inside the nomination filing center, where we're standing right now, is Union Home Minister Amit Shah, Defense Minister Rajnath Singh, other Union Ministers Hardeep Puri, Ramdas Athavale also there, JP Nadda, BJP President, Party President, also there inside the center. In terms of Chief Ministers, 2 NDA allies, Eknath Shinde from Maharashtra and Conrad Sangma from Meghalaya, have also made their way through. Praful Patel from Maharashtra, NDA ally, has come in. Chandrababu Naidu, NDA ally from Telangana, Praful Patel from Maharashtra has come in. Chandrababu Naidu from Telangana, NDA ally, has also come in. Jayant Chaudhary has come in, and Chirag Paswan has also made his way through from Bihar. But as we're speaking, Vineet, we can see now a lot of commotion. Several cars, I'm not sure if you can see behind me, but several cars of Uttar Pradesh police arriving with more and more cops. All of this is, of course, happening in anticipation of the Prime Minister's arrival. So the increase in security suddenly is indicative of the fact that we're looking at just a few minutes from now that the Prime Minister's cavalcade will also make its way through. I'm going to request my cameraman, if we can, amidst this commotion, to perhaps show us around in just a short while from now the exact gate from where Prime Minister Modi's cavalcade will also be coming in. Over to you, Vineet.
These are live, Devika, thank you for that. We'll come back to you. These are live shots coming in of the Prime Minister at the Kal Bhairav Mandir. A stop before his nomination paper filing, and you can see Yogi Adityanath garlanding the Prime Minister. Those are live visuals of the Prime Minister, and you can see the excitement, you can see the electric atmosphere around him. Okay, we're also getting to know that Yogi Adityanath and his cavalcade has arrived at the nomination center. The Prime Minister is going to be next. He's at the Kal Bhairav temple, and those are live visuals coming in of the Prime Minister seeking blessings right before he files his nomination papers. An important contest for the Bharatiya Janata Party, and a very important one for the Prime Minister as well, because Varanasi is not only about just a constituency in Uttar Pradesh for the Bharatiya Janata Party. It has also come out as a shining example and beacon of what this government has done to a city like Kashi. A number of developmental projects that have fructified over the last 10 years, and these are being endorsed and highly praised by the people who continue to support the Prime Minister and continue to say that if it wasn't for him, Kashi would still be backwards. Right from the connectivity to a number of world-class facilities, including NIFT that have come up or about to come up in Varanasi, is a testament to the fact that a lot of hard work was applied, a lot of promises that were made in 2014 were delivered. All right, I see a smile on Jimsa's face. Would want to know what that smile is all about. And Jimsa, amuse us.
I'd like to remind you three things. Now, to begin with, I want to start by saying I respect the sentiments of Rajlakshmi ma'am, Joyita ma'am, and Himanshu sir, somebody I deeply admire. That being said, I would also want to ask you, if entitlement was a concern, how was Prime Minister Narendra Modi elected to be the first, or the first time he was asked to be the CM? What kind of work did he do as an MLA, or prior to that, to work as a CM? That is one. As far as I know, the first time he was elected as an MLA was asked to take over the reins of the state. He became the CM the first time he contested as an MLA. So is that not a sort of entitlement? That is one. Two, in our angst and our frustration against the opposition, the India bloc, we say that they are not capable, we allude certain things that are not very pleasing to the entire entity. Is it not pertinent that we discuss the fact that during 2014 elections, when our...
Interrupt that conversation, Vineet. Prime Minister Modi has arrived at the nomination filing center, is what we've been informed. Cavalcades further coming in, and of course this is of course a protocol that's going on right now of the cavalcades coming in before Prime Minister Modi, but you can see all the black security cars of the Prime Minister. There we can see him, Prime Minister Modi. He's wearing a white kurta. He has a blue coat on top of that, and we can see Prime Minister Modi there coming down from his car, very close to the supporters on the other side. There you see it, Prime Minister Narendra Modi making his way into the nomination filing center in Varanasi. He is contesting for a third time from this seat in Uttar Pradesh. There we've seen it. This is the moment that we've all been waiting for. Prime Minister Narendra Modi is concluding his two-day tour of Uttar Pradesh by filing his nomination papers. In just a few moments from now, viewers, we will be getting visuals from inside the nomination filing center, where several big leaders of the BJP continue to be present there waiting for the Prime Minister. Prime Minister's arrival. He will be welcomed by Amit Shah, Rajnath Singh, JP Nadda, Hardeep Puri, Ramdas Athawale, Eknath Shinde, Conrad Sangma, Praful Patel, Chandrababu Naidu, Jayant Chaudhary, Chirag Paswan, all inside at the nomination filing center, waiting for the Prime Minister. Like I said, in just a short while from now, we will get visuals of the Prime Minister inside the center itself, where he will be submitting his papers officially to join the race for 2024 Lok Sabha elections. This is the big moment that we've been waiting for. And of course, you can see the Prime Minister's SPG all across. There's major security. And as we can see right outside, there are also some supporters of the Prime Minister who are standing by. They've all been waiting since morning to get that one glimpse of the Prime Minister. There are people outside the nomination filing center as well who will wait for the Prime Minister to exit, and they will wait for that one wave from the Prime Minister as he makes his way now to conclude his visit in Varanasi. So this is, like I said, viewers, the moment that everyone has been waiting for. In just a short moment from now, Prime Minister Narendra Modi will officially join the race for 2024 Lok Sabha elections from his constituency of Varanasi, where he's contesting for the third time. He is up against Ajay Rai of the Congress and the leaders of the Samajwadi Party as well. Important election for the Bharatiya Janata Party. Remember, the 2024 contest is happening after the promises of 2019 of the Ayodhya Ram Mandir and the Kashi Vishwanath corridor have now been delivered by the Bharatiya Janata Party under the leadership of Prime Minister Modi. Specifically, the Kashi Vishwanath corridor, a very special project of the Prime Minister for his constituency. He held a roadshow yesterday, 6 kilometers for about roughly 4 hours from Lanka in the Kashi corridor to the Kashi Vishwanath Dham Mandir, and the focus was on showcasing the development that has taken place of Varanasi under Prime Minister Modi. Today, the Prime Minister, after a successful roadshow, started his day with a dip in the waters of the holy Ganga River, followed by a cruise to the Namo Ghat, which was an additional ghat that was also built under Prime Minister Narendra Modi's leadership. And of course, after that, he made his way to the Kal Bhairav Mandir to seek blessings before he has made his way finally to the nomination filing center in Varanasi. Over to you, Vineet.
All right, so the Prime Minister, like Devika said, has arrived for his nomination for the 2024 elections. Remember, folks, the Prime Minister has already won twice in 2014 and 2019 as well. We also have Joyita Basu, Mr. Himanshu Bhatt, Rajalakshmi Joshi and Jimsa with us on this conversation. Joyita, coming to you. In fact, if we talk about development in Varanasi, it's not only through, what we have heard from people that we have spoken to on the ground in the last couple of days. The development in Varanasi has also been, a precedent, or rather a start to the inspiration that a host of cities could use in the foreseeable future, right from the multimodal terminal on the Ganga, which allowed, consignments to come in from Kolkata through the waterways. Let's talk about the roads also in Kashi, which were in fact infamously very, very narrow. They were all fixed up. And of course, the one palpable difference that you see in Kashi over the last few years is the fact that all the overhead wires, Joyita, have been put underground. And of course, the Ganga has been cleaned up, which was a mammoth project. In fact, the Aam Aadmi Party in Delhi, came up on a plank to power that they were going to clean up the Yamuna, but over the years, it's only gotten worse, and it's to a point where it's also emanating poisonous gases. Now, this is, a clear distinction between the wheat and the chaff, and that's exactly what the policy of the Prime Minister also enunciated.
Well, Vineet, I went to Varanasi in 2014 ahead of the elections. I went to Varanasi in 2019 ahead of the elections. This year I couldn't go, but I'll be going sometime during the year. So you see, between 2014 and 2019 only, I saw a huge difference. But you're talking about, about the roads. You see, it's very difficult to widen roads in Varanasi. What happens is that Varanasi is famous for its narrow lanes and all, but the construction that has happened, the way the city has been cleaned up, I mean, that's remarkable. And you forgot to mention that one of the biggest things that has happened in the last 5 years is that Kashi Vishwanath temple. So you see, the Varanasi I saw in 2014 and Varanasi I saw in 2019. The people were, slightly skeptical about Mr. Modi in 2014. Ki kya karenge, kya hoga. Those people were ecstatic in 2019. So, and you could see the flyovers that have been built, the expressways that were being built. For example, from Varanasi to Ghazipur, that's almost towards the Bihar border. I traveled that whole area. So there was a lot of, a sense of ecstasy. The people were, absolutely over the moon. Now, what has happened is that after that, it's only, when I went in 2019, the digging for that thing has become that Kashi Vishwanath corridor. And I have not seen it yet, but the thing is, the kind of feedback I'm getting, people from all over the country are just visiting just for the Kashi Vishwanath temple to see how it is. Okay, so the whole point is, it is not just, and when you're talking about development, they have developed a cancer hospital over there, as I was mentioning in your program yesterday. In 10 months, they built that. Okay, and the 32,000 operations they've already done over there, the BHU cancer
And
hospital.
Joyita, let's not forget the piped gas to households. Almost 36 lakh people are going to be, in fact, be using this facility. It was started, in fact, in 2016, and it's going to cover about 1,600 square kilometers.
Yes, and apart from that, you see the whole idea, and when you're talking about the electric wires and all, Delhi still does not have it.
Well, it was proposed by the Aam Aadmi Party for Chandni Chowk, but it never happened.
In Varanasi in 2019 already it had happened.
No, I'm talking about Chandni Chowk. It was proposed by the Aam Aadmi Party when they first came to power, but has never happened. In fact,
the wire has not happened anywhere. Delhi is full of overhead wires, yeah. Think of our office. Isn't everything overhead over there? And we are in the heart of South Delhi. Delhi does not have underground wire. It's everywhere. It's overhead wire. For God's sake, Varanasi had it, as I said, 5 years back. What is going on in this case? The thing is, you see, all this work has happened. And apart from that, the whole idea is to build Varanasi as a tourism hub, as a religious, cultural tourism hub, which will be affecting the whole, having a positive impact on the hinterland. You see, because half of these people, many of these people, they are not residents of Varanasi. These businessmen, small traders and all, they come to Varanasi and then they go back to their villages or their small towns. So automatically, once you see an economic boom in a temple town like Varanasi, what happens is that it automatically spreads all across. Say, for example, the Nishads, who are the boat people of Varanasi. You see, what they told me that there has been a manifold jump in their income because, and they were charging very high rates, by the way. I remember 5 years back, they were charging 600, 700 for one boat ride. Okay, so it's like, they were like, well, we are getting a lot of money, why not? So you see, the whole point is that there are segments that has been a major economic resurgence or major economic improvement among people of the rural areas. That is why if you look at Prime Minister Modi's policies, all this talk about, oh, he only talks about mandir and all. No, whatever temples, whatever corridors are being built, Everything has an economic impact for the better for the people. It's happening in Ayodhya. They're doing it in Madhya Pradesh. Because you see, like it or not, I mean, the so-called secularists and, anti-Modi people will not like it. Religion is at the core of this country. We are what we are because of our beliefs and faiths. All of us. I mean, even if you look at the ISRO chief, I mean, before he goes or after something, he goes to the temple. I mean, for God's sake, we need all of us do it. It's a fact. I'm certain even the Christians and Muslims do it. So when it comes to it, faith counts. So if faith can provide you avenues of improvement in infrastructure, avenues of improvement in income, why not? And that is what is happening.
Okay, Jimsa wants to come in, make a point. Jimsa, go ahead.
See, firstly, to the point that I'd like to make to Joyita, it is true that belief and religion is a core of all of us individuals. I respect that sensibility. As a temple-going Christian, I completely subscribe to what Joyita said. That being said, I was talking about three things that I wanted to discuss. One, if a person who is elected as an MLA can be given the reins of a state like Gujarat, first time MLA is asked to be the Chief Minister of Gujarat, can't somebody who has been an MP for 20 years in the Indian Lok Sabha be named or be considered a probable PM candidate? That's one. Two, now we've spoken about developments. In our rush to question the opposition, sometimes we forget that in 2014 and in 2019, in rallies after rallies, our PM has mentioned about the fuel prices, for instance. There's been so much talk about making it to 50. In fact, it's going at 100 odd. Shouldn't we, as citizens of this country, discuss about this? Gas prices that were supposed to be reduced to 500, we're going at 1,000 plus. Shouldn't we, as citizens of this country, which affects the whole of us, discuss this? Forget the opposition. As citizens of this country, shouldn't we discuss the unemployment rate, which is at an all-time high when we were promised by our PM that we will be given 2 crores employment? Shouldn't this be discussed is a question that I'd like to ask our panelists. And finally, I'd like to end with this. We have so much talk about Kashi, about Varanasi Lok Sabha constituency. We had the PM winning there the last time, 2019, with a margin of 63.5%, 63.6. If I'm not wrong, I think it was in the 1977. Chandrasekhar won with a margin of 66%. It was in 77, if I'm not wrong. And soon afterwards, in 81 and 84, it was the Congress that made a comeback. So instead of just giving victories to people we like, something that we accuse the opposition of doing, shouldn't we, as responsible citizens, be able to question the responsibility of somebody in authority, not just let them scot-free because they talk about a religion or a belief that I subscribe to? That's my only question. Thank you.
All right, folks, those are live visuals on your screen from outside of the nomination center. We just saw the Prime Minister enter with his security, and of course a host of other VVIP guests are already there. Rajalakshmi Joshi, how would you subscribe to what Jimsa has said? It's important to understand that for the Prime Minister, it would have been a different route altogether if the development was not as emphatic as we have seen in Varanasi. But the fact of the matter is that despite him being a tall leader, he stuck to his guns, stuck to his promises, and made the changes. I'm saying even if 50% of this work was completed, he would have still come back as a member of parliament for Varanasi. But what he did was absolutely, integral. It showed his caliber as a leader and his truthfulness to the mandate that has elevated him, to this point.
Yes, you're very right, Vineet. But, the one striking thing about the Bharatiya Janata Party is that, this party never takes anything for granted. So, 50% might have been enough. But then, if it is possible, what they will do is they will deliver 110% if that is possible. Because they don't want to take any chances. So, now, I say this almost all the time that, even if there is one bypoll election somewhere, the entire party, right from the top, is interested to make sure that they win that seat. And that is the kind of dedication. And it is not at the cost of the other development. So it is whatever they do is along with the other development, along with the other whatever responsibilities they have to take up. Now, I also wanted to answer a couple of things. That, when Narendra Modi ji was assigned this role as the chief minister, like I said before that, he was actually visiting as a pracharak, and he was very well active in the RSS as well as in the BJP as a very active karyakarta, and he was active in all the organizational roles. So the party heads definitely knew that this is a person who is very well capable of taking up all these responsibilities and taking up all the challenges that are coming along with this post. And he has lived up to it. He has shown, he has taken up multiple terms as chief minister in Gujarat, and then that is the reason why, and along with that, the Bharatiya Janata Party also makes sure that, like I was saying, that no seat is taken, there is nothing for granted. So a person has to be extremely popular. They have to have had a certain amount of some achievements to be able to be given a ticket there. They don't rest on this thing saying that the PM is extremely popular, so we will give the ticket to anybody possible. That is not how it goes. So similarly, when Narendra Modi ji was considered for the post of as a prime ministerial candidate, he already had a huge body of work behind him. Yes, when he was given this task as a chief ministerial post, at that time he had shown how good he is at organization. So he has grown from strength to strength, and today he has had with him, he has the achievements of the past and the vision for the future. Like he has a vision for 2047. So that is the kind of thing that appeals to a person like me. So when he talks about all this vision, he talks about unicorns, he talks about the space programs, all those kind of things. When he talks about women-led development, he doesn't talk about giving money to a lady in the house and just making her feel comfortable. He wants her to go out there and test her abilities and make sure that she is able to be a part of the development and the nation building. So that is the kind of a difference in his approach and the entitlement of a particular family who think that my grandfather did this, and my grandmother did this, my great grandfather did this, and all those kind of things. And then there's so many people, they martyred. They got martyred, etc. When they were actually assassinated, it was not like they were actually fighting a war and they got martyred. So, how long are they going to keep going back to all those past laurels of other people from their families, and then they don't have a vision apart from things like talking about the caste census, and after the caste census, what they're going to do, how they're going to be taking up any of the development projects, how are they going to do any of that, how they're going to take the country forward, is something that nobody is talking about. So it is they who are talking about how silly Hinduism is, how Hinduism needs to be eradicated, and things like that. So at that time, when the PM, he shows the contrast between what the Congress has done in the past and what he has been able to achieve, and what he wants to do in the future also.
For more such videos, subscribe to the NewsX YouTube channel, hit the bell icon.